Hello everybody and welcome to another top 5 board gaming video. Today's topic is all about losing games. More specifically, it's about games that I personally don't mind losing. And this is kind of an interesting thing because there are the whole rage quit, flipping the table type of games, and then there are the games where it's like, oh, it was so close, I hate everything. But then there are games like this that make you say, dang, that was amazing and I couldn't care less that I didn't do as well as I had hoped. And that is the feeling that I want to have from not just these games, but really from every board game, honestly. And the fact is that you can get that feeling from every board game if you go in with the right mindset. But of course, everything varies, everyone has their own opinion, and I want to hear yours. Put anything and everything in the comments below because I love to hear it. But with that, we're just going to jump right in with my number 5. At number 5, I've got Terraforming Mars, the highly popular mid-weight engine building game that is all about terraforming Mars and making it valuable for life and usable for life. The fact is that in this game you get cards that you have to play and you are trying to build up an engine that is producing something that will help you, and you are trying to lay down new tiles and new cities and claim new things and do all sorts of different stuff in this, that, and the other thing. The fact is though that in this game you do have victory points in the end and whoever has the most wins. And for me personally, whenever I play this, I always feel good about it. I always do my best to make my best decision, to make my best strategic value at the time and all of that sort of thing. But it's lower on the list because without fail, I've always had a little bit of hindsight where I would say, dang, if only at that one time I did that one thing instead, I might have been able to do a little bit better and things like that. But still, it's a wonderful game and I honestly do not feel bad losing. Terraforming Mars, my number 5. At number 4, I've got Sheriff of Nottingham. A lot of different games could fit this particular gap, and that is this sort of bluffing, highly socialized game and things of that nature. But at the same time, with this particular game, it's all about money, it's about how much you have of a particular item, it's all about this sort of thing. And there is nothing like the reveal at the end with the contraband coming out and seeing exactly what it is that people manage to sneak through. It is an incredible feeling. And the fact is that the most fun of this game is just the social aspect and the bluffing aspect, and I absolutely adore it. That said, it's low on the list because this game is not for everybody by any stretch of the imagination. I have met a lot of people that really don't like it or really don't like social games in general, but for me personally, this is one that I just have fun with on the path, and that's really all it is. I honestly don't really care about winning and losing, but just doing the whole thing is tremendously fun for me personally. So Sheriff of Nottingham is my number 4. At number 3, I've got Camel Up. This might seem like a little bit of an odd thing, but let me pose you a situation. There's a camel that's all the way in the back, and you're just like, I don't know about that guy, but I have a good feeling about it. I think that they can make it. And so what do? You bet everything on that camel that's all the way in last place. And what happens in the end? It's still in last place and you lose. But it might not. It might come out on first place and then you win. There is nothing like a comeback from the very back, and that is what Camel Up can really get you. And so betting on the long shots and eventually potentially winning and doing all of that sort of thing is absolutely insane. It makes for an incredible gaming experience, just seeing all the camels moving around and jumping on each other and doing all of this kind of crazy stuff, and who knows what's going to happen and when and where. It's amazingly fun and I absolutely adore it. And again, betting on the long shots, you might win, you might lose, who knows, but either way, Camel Up, definitely fun regardless, and is my number 3. At number 2, I've got Cosmic Encounter. Now, this is a fun one because it literally has a power that is called the Loser, which is an interesting thing that I won't get into right now. But this, very similarly to Sheriff of Nottingham, is more a social and negotiation game than it is anything else. It is my favorite game of all time, and it's just wonderfully fun and very simple. All you have to do is get 5 colonies. That's it. You attack people, you try and land on their planet, and then boom, you've got a colony. That's it. But the thing is that there is so much going on. There are so many different powers. There's so much back and forth. There's so many agreements and disagreements and backstabbing and all sorts of different stuff that can happen. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it's a ton of fun, and I absolutely love it. And I honestly do not remember a time where I cared if I only had one colony when everybody else had 5, because it normally meant that everybody was just inviting me to go and attack. So it's great. But regardless, Cosmic Encounter, my number 2. At number 1, I've got Mage Wars, and by extension, any other sort of game where you are doing your own deck building and going mano a mano. So we're talking about Android Netrunner, or Game of Thrones, or even Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, whatever your particular thing is. These types of games are absolutely amazing, especially when you get to the point where you know that you have a really good solid deck, you know that your opponent has a really good solid deck, and you're just going against each other in a very strategic way, and that is what this boils down to. I do not care about losing because I know that it will boil down to hopefully I'll get the cards I need, and did I play my cards right? Having 2 great decks going against one another is a wonderful feeling in any of these games, and other than the stupid Mewtwo Chansey stall deck from way back in the day, for those of you who are old Pokemon fans, but that's beside the point. All in all, these types of games where you're doing your own building, you're doing your own synergies, all of that sort of thing, and it is your baby, it's your game, and you are going against somebody else's. It's just an incredible feeling, and even if you lose, you know that you did your best, and on top of that, you can potentially make some adjustments to try and win next time. So Mage Wars, and by extension LCGs or CCGs, things of that nature, are my number 1. Well, everybody, that's going to be it for me. I hope that you enjoyed this video on my top 5 games that I really don't mind losing. And again, this is more about I'm still happy having played the game and having done the experience and all of that sort of thing, rather than being upset at myself for losing and all of that sort of thing. Now, the fact is that most games give me this feeling, but for these 5 in particular, I really, really enjoy the journey much more than the destination. And that's really what I wanted to say and what I wanted to talk about in this particular video. But of course, that said, I also want to know what you all think. What are your favorite games to lose and why? What are games that you don't mind losing and why? Or are you a person who really always wants to win? Let me know anything and everything in the comments below, because you know I love to hear anything and everything from you guys. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please take a look at my various social media pages where you can interact with myself and my channel in a bunch of really fun ways. But with that, thank you again for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.